So I've actually had these batteries for quite a while now, and I can't seem to wrap my head around how revolutionary this thing is. So what is this? It's an NPF battery, yes, very similar to this one. However, this battery is no longer this one-dimensional NPF battery. So in case you guys are wondering what are NPF batteries, well, NPF batteries have been a standard for such a long time. It's actually like the go-to battery for most videographers. This used to power camcorders or the bigger cameras, the bigger video cameras. It would power monitors. It would power, let's say, basically this one, HDMI transmitters. However, the one downside of NPF batteries is the fact that they only work with specific products that actually have NPF mounts. Now, I forgot to mention, one of the key things that this thing powers is this one, my favorite light from Nanlite, the FC60B. Now, the FC60B can run using DC power AC power or DC power via NPF batteries. You put two here actually, and you have a portable light that you can bring with you all the time, like so. But the problem is, again, as I said earlier, NPF batteries are very one-dimensional. They will only work with devices that actually have NPF mounts. That's why a lot of the new devices, including this Nanlite, have USB-Cs here in the back because USB-C now is the standard or is the norm. So there was a time that products were coming out to make this NPF battery a little bit more useful, if I want to say that, because it takes it away from being one-dimensional by having mounts like this one. With this particular mount, you could put your NPF battery, then you've got a power delivery in out USB-C, you've got a Type-C out also, and a USB-A out. So therefore, this allows this battery to power a lot of the devices that are here that only run on USB-C. However, this one all of a sudden came out in the market. And when this one came out, I was blown away to the point that, dare I say, this one actually revolutionized the battery. And I want to say that this became the best value for money battery that you can buy out there for all your photography and or videography needs. Now, what did Samllrig? By the way, this is a Samllrig BPF970 battery. It's model 4469. Again, it's an BPF970 USB-C rechargeable camera battery. Now, what made it so revolutionary? Well, number one, it's got a built-in USB-C already. Having the built-in USB-C basically just opens up the ability of this particular battery to power all these devices. It's got USB-A also, and of course, your standard NPF mount right here. Now, this USB-C is also an in-out. In other words, it accepts very fast USB-C chargers. Therefore, you can charge this battery really quickly as compared to the old NPF batteries that you needed a specific charger just for it, which were really very, very slow. So that's why I try to stay away from these batteries for such a long time. Now, the thing about this battery also for me, that very, very simple addition that just blew me away on how simple it was, but on how useful it is this. Look, when I press it, it actually shows how much power you have left in these batteries. And that's very important, especially when you are shooting. Now, how did this become so revolutionary? Now, well, number one, you could see that it's so small. But here's the thing. Let's say, for example, I've got a monitor like this, and I wanted to power it using one NPF battery. Let's say I only had this one. So obviously, it's going to be working like so, right? So it can power the battery. However, what if, let's say, I had this monitor attached to my camera, right? Well, with a USB-C cord, you can actually plug it right here in the USB plug of the USB socket of the NPF battery. And while it is actually powering this monitor, as you can see, I can plug it to my camera and have it as another power source for this particular camera. You could see right now, it is actually being powered via this USB-C cable via this NPF battery. Now, you guys might be asking, okay, with this very small battery, you're going to be powering so many devices and this thing's going to run out of power immediately. Well, not really. Because in this tiny little battery, you've got 10,500 milliamperes and 76 watt per hours of juice. In other words, when you say 76, actually to be very exact, it's about 76.65 watt per hours. So what does that basically mean? Well, 76.65 watt per hours, meaning it can power a device that runs on 76.65 watts for 1 full hour. 10,500 milliamperes basically just states how much juice it has to recharge your phones. And yes, this USB-C can also charge your phones. It will also work with the laptop that I have here. It's enough to power this laptop. Okay? So technically, for this particular light, as I mentioned earlier, this is a 60 watt light from Nanlite. Now, if I put 2 of these batteries here, which brings it to 76 point or roughly about 150 watt per hours, that means I can theoretically power this light for 2.5 hours on full power with just these 2 batteries. And while I am doing that, I can actually have this particular light powering an HDMI transmitter that could be connected here, or here's the thing. I also have monitors like this when I go around. This one I would connect to my laptop because I love these monitors because they are powered by USB-C. But whenever I am doing my workshops, what happens is I have a transmitter connected to my camera and another receiver connected to this monitor so that they can see a live view of what my camera is seeing. Imagine this. Let's take this battery out now. All right, let's take this monitor away. I can actually plug the USB-C, this one, right here, and it will power this monitor, and I can have it connected to my camera now, and you will basically see a live view of what this camera is seeing, and it's all powered via this one. Now I can use the USB-A port there to power my camera afterwards. So this is a Samllrig BPF970 battery, and guess what? This particular battery only costs $64 US. In other words, in Philippine pesos, it's between 4,000 to 4,600 pesos for one battery like this. Now, this one battery, I can actually use, again, a USB-C cord and connect it to my battery charger. It can technically power another NPF battery or recharge an NPF battery, or I can power my Sony FC batteries like so, which is being charged now using this Samllrig BPF970 battery. That's why I actually love what they did with this one, because they made this old unidirectional or basically this old battery that served one purpose and gave it so many other purposes in the same small form factor and at a very affordable price. That's why when I got these batteries, I was like, oh wow, this is perfect, because now this never leaves my camera bag because it's a power bank. It can charge my cameras. It can basically power any device that I have with me most of the time. All right? So that's a Samllrig BPF970 battery, and I do believe this particular battery revolutionized the way batteries should be. So if you want to know more about the technical specs of these batteries, I will put the link in the description below. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do consider subscribing to the channel, and while you're at it, click that notification bell, especially if you want to learn more about off-camera flash photography, in which I have a lot of tutorials already up in the channel. So if you like what you saw, please do consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that notification bell. Now, if you want to see the images that I've created, you could always find me in my social media sites on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all at Jiggie Alejandrino. Okay, till the next video.